what I tried to share Sunday. And that was one of the things that Yahweh spoke to me about, is about our attitudes that we develop about coming to the house of God, or gathering with people that we think, we really don't want nothing to do with, because they're, for whatever reason, our arrogance and pride and ignorance thinks that we should not, I don't need you, you're just a pain in the butt, you're not worth the time, I wish you'd leave me alone, don't bother me. That type of attitude is not the attitude that's going to nurture the presence of Yahweh in your life. These women they're hot now, so if you can crank me down just a little bit, Doug, give me a little bit of air. And so what happens is, in my belief of who God is and what God is, and that He has a certain things that you have to do in order to have ecclesia life. Y'all know what I mean by that, right? Ecclesia life is not a church slogan. It's not something that we are striving to do by doing these certain things, except what God has called us to do. One of the reasons that I don't do marriage seminars anymore is because I believe if you'll do and live the life that Yahweh has called us to live and showed us to live, then you'll have such fruit of the Spirit that all of those things will automatically have to happen. So that's why I don't do marriage seminars anymore. I've done them before, but without living a life. So I know people that they want somehow to benefit and reap what those of us who are really living this life get: peace, righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Ghost, good relationships, God on your side, having favor with man, and not some favor. Let me say this. When you're asking God to do something for you, then you're really not doing anything for Him. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm doing things for God, so I'm going to get the benefit from it, how many of you know you're not really doing anything for Him? Your motive is to do it for yourself. And do you know how God looks at that? He thinks you're selfish. And selfish people do not live ecclesia life. So we have that available, but you're not going to do it through unforgiveness. You're going to do all those things. Believing the false gospel, you can't have the benefit of the true gospel. You're not going to get a well done believing the American gospel. So you have to believe and do and obey what God says to believe and do and obey. So in that, saying that, one of the things I want to talk to you about tonight is an attitude that we talked about Sunday of not waiting. And I talked about Sunday how rude it is when you don't wait on somebody. Well, you didn't show up. I left. You didn't show up. What you're saying to me, if you don't wait on me to get there, what you're saying to me is that I'm not important to you. And that don't mean that I'm so important that I think you should wait for me. I'm just saying that's what it says. When we don't wait on one another. And remember, waiting isn't just sitting there twiddling your thumbs. Waiting is also serving as a waiter would in a restaurant. It's called serving. But when we don't rush the service. We don't rush our meal. What take another swig of that. I want everybody to look at her right now. Take a swig. What? Take a swig of that right now. Oh, you won't? Okay. Oh, it is? Her thing lit up. I thought she'd been to the fair or something. And so I'm sorry, man. That was like cool. So when we're waiting on one another, and we're waiting on Yahweh, because what I do, I come to church expecting Yahweh to do something. Because if Yahweh don't do anything in our service, then ain't nothing going to get done. But a lot of people come with a mindset that, well, hey, all right, look, what I'm really about today is I'm going to go to the lake today, or I'm going to golf today, or I'm going to do this today, or I'm going to go take a nap today, or I got to hurry and go eat today. Whatever it is, the mindset is not waiting upon Him. And what happens is that how many of you know this, that He knows that? How many of you know that God knows that you're here? No, God, Oh, don't tell me he's going to get up and talk again. Look, I thought the service was over. Oh, no, not her again. Oh, that whole attitude and demeanor. I want to tell you, you are not going to receive and be able to live and have the blessings of what I'm preaching about. It ain't going to happen. You will not get a well done with an attitude of like, hey, let's go. Hey, let's get it on. Okay, all right. I've heard it. How long are you going to preach this week? You know what? I'm going to preach as long as Yahweh wants me to, and I may get in the flesh and go a little bit longer. But the fact is, we should be waiting on one another. We should have a mindset and an attitude that we come here and that this is important. And if we don't wait, I'm going to tell you what, it means it's not important. And you can't trick God. So I'm hoping that everybody that comes here, that, man, we're doing everything the way God wants us to, because it's important to me that you are blessed. It's important to me that you receive everything that we're talking about. One of the reasons is because I love you. Another reason is this: so you can be a testimony to the world of the truth of the gospel, and that God is really who He says He is, and that He's alive in your life. And I say, well, what about so-and-so? And it's easy. Look, anybody can get off of an addiction, so to speak, and I don't want to play that down. I know that's real. Anybody can lose some weight. Anybody can make muscles. Anybody can get in shape. Anybody can turn over a new leaf. Anybody can start being nice. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about God who comes in and transforms you and me, and we are the recipients of everything that He promised in His Word. Not only then, but how many of you know that it's important now? By His stripes we are healed. And I appreciate the fact that one day, when we're resurrected and we get a well done, we'll have an immortal body and we'll be healed. But I need healing now. I need joy now. I need relationships to be whole now. And so I'm hoping that we will really consider what's important to us, and that Yahweh knows that He's important to us, and what's important to Him is important to us. And there's nothing in the earth more important to Him than His church. That's Yeshua. We are Yeshua's bride. And I know that there's maybe not that good of example in America today about a husband loving his wife as Christ loves the church. Maybe that's not a good example anymore in America. And so I want to talk about something today that takes two. And you're going to think almost that I'm talking about a marriage, and I am, but I'm talking about every relationship. House number 1, house number 2, and house number 3. And I want you to apply it foremost to you and Yahweh, because if you don't wait upon the Lord, you will never hear Him speak to you. You hear me? You wouldn't know Yahweh, and you're going to keep doing what you do because you want to do it, and you'll say, God told me to, and I'll say, okay. Because I can't say anything else, but okay, because you're not going to hear anything else. Number 2, I want you to apply it to you and your wife, you and your husband. Because that is the one example that we should be setting in our society, before our children, and before God, of Christ and the church. Our marriage should look like Yeshua and His church. And then, of course, number 3 being our brothers and sisters in the ecclesia. So I want to start off tonight by talking about something, and I want to know if you're going to listen to me or not. That's my question. Because see, that's the question that when you get married, or I have felt before in relationships and with people, what's the point of talking, because people don't listen to me anyway. Have anybody felt like that before? I have. Man, I feel like talking to, preaching, and sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. But the thing is, it starts out innocently. And so a man will be at home and he's watching some sporting event, or or whatever it is, and he tunes his wife out when she's trying to be heard. And he may have a good enough reason to. Y'all know what I'm talking about? But that didn't develop right then. Over a period of time and over a period of years, for all these reasons I'm not going to get into tonight, but it's like a wife, sometimes she gets so wrapped up in her daily problems that her husband, they get together at the end of the day, and she's so busy talking about her problems that she barely allows him to talk about his. And vice versa, of course. Before long, what happens is the talking stops. Pretty soon, silence begins to grow between a man and a woman to where it used to be, or a brother and a sister, or you and Yahweh. I want to make sure I'm focusing on the marriage, but I'm talking about all three relationships, okay? So, listening is like marriage in every relationship. It's a partnership. It takes two to talk and to listen. So, the responsibility that I have to recognize that I have, that when my wife is speaking, or my brother in the Lord is talking, or my sister in the Lord is talking, or Yahweh's talking, but I've talked about having grace for people who, the older they get, they keep telling the same old story over and over and over. Sometimes we just need to have the grace to listen to it and act like you've never heard it before. Sometimes you can say, "You just told me that." But the fact is, if the listener don't show genuine interest and he's not sensitive to what the one person is saying, I guarantee you, either then or eventually, the talking's going to stop. And some people say, "Well, hallelujah. I hope the talking does stop." The problem with that is the relationship has stopped. The life flow has stopped. Communication will fade. And I guarantee you, other things that take two in the marriage will fade also, if you catch my drift. So daily conversation or dialogue, not monologue, dialogue is a key ingredient to successful relationships / marriage. I see people, if it comes to sports, they have no problem communicating. Talking about when I see they're talking about their business and money, they have no problem. They talk. We are constantly trying to communicate with people around us. The problem is this: I use the word trying, because just because you talking don't mean somebody's listening. And so I have tried to be a communicator in my life. And I laugh sometimes, because in my relationship with my wife, or maybe other people that I love in a personal relationship, I want to say, "Hey, I'm a great communicator. That's what I do for a living." But I could suck on a personal level if I don't pay attention and wait, there's that word again, and care about the other person. Get in the car, move. I do all the talking. Till I had to stop and say, "Well, wait, what am I doing?" And I'm sure my wife's probably thinking about what color shade black she wants, right, David? It's like she's like over here, because you can come to this place. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've seen other people doing the same thing, making the same mistakes as we are attempting to try to make each other understand one another. So, man, I just want to give you some ideas tonight that I think is going to help you. The first thing I will say is this, is that talking and listening is going to be the number one thing that will save every relationship. Somebody said, I thought that money problems. No, if you can talk about it, money problems don't have any power. I thought about sexual. No, if you know how to talk about it, you can endure and conquer. How many of you know what I believe what I'm saying? But let me tell you what I found out. When it comes to really wanting to communicate, watch this. Most people are just lazy. Just lazy. What'd you say? My wife has accused me of being deaf. She said, are you deaf? Well, guess what? She's beginning now to think I am. When I first started playing golf with some of these guys up at Ocala National Golf Club, there's all these old men up there, I thought they didn't like me. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Hi, well, you doing good? Hey, I tell a joke. Well, I found out they're all deaf. I mean, really deaf. So I've seen people, man, when it comes to their professions, when it comes to things that they love, they work real hard to make sure that you know exactly what we're talking about. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to say it so nice to you because what I'm trying to do is get your money. I'm going to make a sale. Hi there. How are you doing? Oh, God bless you. Or I'm going to do something. And so what happens is, we have that I don't want to call it hypocrisy, but what we do, we have this one language that we have in business world or with other people, but then we have another attitude when it comes to people that we should be loving the most and treating the best. So I think that we've developed these sloppy habits and poor attitudes when it comes to communicating with the people that we love, our mates / brothers and sisters in Christ. So, are y'all with me tonight? Okay, I'm trying to communicate with you. What happens is, because we can't do that correctly, then we're not solving anything. And there's issues to be solved. I don't care how long you've been married. I don't care what you're going through. There's issues. And if we can, by the power of the Spirit and the wisdom of God and the love of God and the fruit of the Spirit deal with people, then I want to tell you what, then blessing flows to the relationship. Whether it be in this house number 2, or with you and Yahweh. So, I've seen some people walking. You ever seen people walking, holding hands, and they're talking as they walk? Walkie-talkie. You ever seen it? I think that's pretty cool. Unless you so out of shape, you're going to be you can't hardly breathe. But to have a time, and it doesn't have to be walking in the nature or down a trail, but there needs to be an experience that we exercise dialogue, that we can talk about hopes and visions. I told somebody recently, I said, look, the things that I have, the greatest things that I have ever achieved by faith are not in my past. I still have hope and dream and vision for the future. I ain't dead yet. I ain't quitted yet. So, if we can sincerely stop and tell each other how much we appreciate each other. And I'll tell you, you have to really change the whole dynamic maybe of your relationship, because let me tell you what some people do. There was a guy in our church years ago who he joked with me all the time. He just joked, everything he joked. When I would try to get intimate with him, he would kind of joke at me. And I said, look, I don't want you to ever joke with me ever again. Because what I was trying to do is get to a place down inside of him that was beyond his guard and wall and fortress of humor. Because he could just blow it off. It's funny. And I'll tell you, most relationships suffer, they suffer the lack of intimacy because they aren't able to get, the person isn't able to get over the wall into them, and they're not able to get over the wall out to them. And there's all kind of walls that we have. I don't care how long you've been married. The insecurities and inferiorities that you suffer as a man or as a woman, you still have to deal with those things. After 30 years of marriage, somebody says, well, it don't bother me. Well, I bet you it does. And this ain't the night to talk about it, but I could talk about some things right now, and I could prove to you that you still have difficulty with intimacy. I could do it with like one sentence. And if you were honest with yourself, you would have to say, yeah, you're right. You want me to tell you what that is? No. If we could really wait on each other in the sense that we are caring about our mutual needs and that we have and who we are and together and what we're about, and maybe even have a list. I know nobody here is going to do this, okay? Nobody's going to make a list. Okay, honey, we're going to make a list of our mutual needs. I know that ain't going to happen. But this is what I think you might discover if you were to do it. That those of you think, I know my wife. You may not know her as good as you think you do. Well, I know my husband. You may not know him as good as you think you do. You know him in the court of war. You know him in the court of battle. You know him on the battlefield. I tell you what he's going to do. He's going to jab, jab, punch. I know he's going to do that first. That's all you know about him. And I know what she's going to do. She's going to scratch my eyes and pull my hair. Y'all know that about each other, but it's interesting that when it comes right down to, I'm talking about good people, y'all, but we get on this course, and guess what? It reflects itself in our relationship with Yahweh. We come to the house of God, we don't wait on Yahweh. You know why? Because we don't wait on our wives or our husbands. We don't wait on nobody. I ain't waiting on nobody. I'll do what I got to do. And even in our waiting, we hurry to do it. Yeah, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. But look, I'll tell you what. If you ain't here in 10 minutes, then the deal's off. Got these needs, man. Write them down. Put them in the back of your mind. And then make those things happen. Sometimes all that needs to be done is to wait on each other. It's simple. It's not that big of a deal. You don't have to necessarily buy diamond rings and all that. Most people don't want diamond rings or, all these gifts. Most people just want somebody that's a little attentive and acts like they're really interested in what they and who they are. It's amazing. I've learned that in order to have a happy relationship with someone, wife / ecclesia, is that I have to compromise a lot of times. Some people think that if it's the truth, you just need to tell them. There's a lot of people, I got to be honest with you, that I just don't tell them the truth. I don't lie to them, but I don't tell them the truth because I know the moment I do, that what's going to happen, they will not be able to face me ever again. And I will not have the most important thing in our relationship. I will not be able to speak into their life and hopefully help them get a well done. So what's more important to me? Being right? Telling the truth? Telling you what like it is? I'm going to straighten you out. I'm the police. Hey, you got to do what I say. You're wrong. Well, guess what? What's more important to me is having that opportunity. And most people are so insecure that when you really speak the truth to them, now some people are proud about you speaking the truth to them, but down inside, most people want you to accept them and love them, and when you tell them things that are contrary to what they believe is true, then guess what they'll do? They'll feel rejection. And I want to tell you, this is all the way across the board. I've seen them big, tall, little, skinny, fat, whatever. This is a human Adam trait. And it goes for everybody. If you just tell them, hey, look, man, I didn't want to come. I don't like you. I don't like to be around you. And that may be the truth. But guess what? You need to compromise the fact that you don't need to tell that person that for Christ's name's sake. This ain't about what Johnny wants or feels or what he may. This is about God. What does God want me to do? And I learned this a long time ago. My feelings are irrelevant because they lie to me. And here we are letting our feelings determine everything we do, how we treat people, and we let it determine the very temperament that we live with. I'm going to tell you, your feelings are a liar. You can get mad at somebody and find out it's not even true, but you've already cussed them out. You know why? Because you think you're royalty. You think, hey, wait a minute. The king is here. What? What? Hey, tell your neighbor, said he's talking from personal experience. I know that spirit that wants to rule in us. When there's a conflict, we need to work it out in a mature way. Wouldn't that be refreshing? Instead of, I remember Alexis Armstrong, we used to call her the mad walk. Remember the mad walk? She would have the mad walk. She'd get mad, she'd start. I've seen grown men with the mad walk. Grown women with the mad walk. I tell you what, here's a dangerous thing to do. But I think that you should live in a world of having, maybe you call it a confession session. Now you got to be careful with this one. But what you can do in this confession session is say this, hey, I was wrong. Oh my God. Everybody okay? Everybody okay? I thought lightning just struck. I was wrong. Hey, you know, maybe it was me. Maybe, you know, maybe guys, you could tell a lady, look, mate, honey, darling wife, maybe it was my time of the month. Because men have them too. About every 10th of the month when the bills are due, men have the same thing women have every 10th of the month. What am I going to do? Well, don't you just trust God? So, our tendency as humans is to blame everyone else but our own selves. Well, listen, it can't be me. I mean, look, I know who I am, and what that, you know, who I am is nothing but a fortress that you put around yourself to deny intimacy. You ain't letting nobody in there, and you're rightfully so, because you were probably hurt before. Your daddy was probably bad to you. Your mama might have left you. Your cousin may have done something. I mean, we all have the same issues. They just may look a little different. But I think a humble, I'm sorry. A humble, I was wrong. A humble, taking the blame. And maybe it wasn't your fault, but the way you reacted was as wrong as the one who was at fault. And I tell you, that, my friend, is a powerful, love-building time. Especially when a grown man is able to look at his wife and say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And ladies, it's very wonderful for a man to hear that. And it's very wonderful for a brother and a sister in the Lord, or two sisters and two brothers can come to each other. Hey, man, I'm sorry. Because nothing's more important than bringing glory to God. You don't understand? This is about bringing glory to God and honoring His name and for His name's sake. It's not whether you get your feelings hurt or somebody didn't do this to you or help you because you're the king. think it's important for us to be able, the right way, to develop the right communication, that you can talk to one another and say, I'm upset, with the other person saying, oh, great. Most people can't say, hey, look, I'm upset about this. Without the other person just losing it. You know why? Because you haven't developed a level of intimacy that you can talk intimately with one another. Because they're not hearing what's down in your heart. They've heard all that other stuff, and you've heard that other stuff, and you're never able to just get down there. And the fact is, you probably really do love one another. That's the problem. You get angry. You're about to lose your temper. Here it comes. Y'all know the feeling. You need to wait and believe and have faith. And what I mean by having faith is this. I don't have to defend myself. Yahweh gonna defend me. All I got to do is do it His way. I don't have to go out there and fight and defend my faith and defend myself and win the argument and be right and all that. And that takes faith to do that. If you don't have faith in God and believing that He determines the end result and He's the one that's going to reward you and bless you for what you do, then you know what? You're never going to be where I'm talking about. And you're never going to learn how to wait on the Lord. I'll just wait on Him. Yeah, but you know how she's acting. You don't know what she's saying to me. Well, look, she don't have a chance. Because number one, I know she's a good woman. I know she really loves God. So we know that the reason she's acting that way is because I'm probably driving her crazy, but it's rooted in something that's really not even about me, except I'm the one that keeps pushing the button. Y'all hear what I just said? And vice versa with the man. Please make sure you understand that. And with brothers and sisters in the ecclesia, and really with anybody in the world. Danny and I had supper tonight, and as I was leaving, there was a family there that I'd known. Man, the guy gets up, hugs me, and all this kind of stuff. We talk, laugh. I told Danny, I said, they love me, but I'm like David. David said this, I am for peace, but when I open my mouth, they are for war. Love me. These people hardly know me. Oh, they think I'm a long-lost son. But if I'd have told them that their mama ain't in heaven, how many of you know that would change us like that? I recognize that. I know what it's like. And I know how to deal with people that are wrong. You know why? Because I used to be wrong. I know how to deal with people that are weak. You know why? Because I used to be weak. And I've learned that He is strong and He ain't wrong. So, sweetie, I love you dearly, but what you're doing to me is making me angry. Now, we can make fun of what I just said, but if you try that sometime, ain't no telling what might happen in your relationship life, your life of relationship. Just shut up. Have self-control, which you can't have unless you have the fruit of the Spirit anyhow. Huh? We the tie, you know. We the do. Look, you're the flashy. Look, you need God's Spirit. And if you can't do it, it means you don't have God's Spirit. If you don't have God's Spirit, the Bible says you're none of His. You know what? You can walk like a duck and quack like a duck, but guess what? You ain't a duck. I quack like a Christian. I talk like a Christian, but guess what? But you ain't a Christian if the Spirit of God isn't in you. Can y'all hear me tonight? And all that's going to do is make everything better for you in every part of your life that you can imagine. The internal dialogue is going to quit off. They don't like me. She don't like me. Oh, man, what does she mean by that? Well, you know, it cuts off, and now you're in charge. Really, guys, you would really become in charge. And you can control the whole dynamic just by your very attitude and the mentality of waiting. What about my husband? Then you do it, ladies. Because God's greater than your husband and your wives and you. maybe as you shut down at night, start settling down, and maybe you can have an opportunity to talk. I think there's times to not talk. But don't use that as an excuse, guys. Well, this is my time for not talking. Yeah, but it's 1 o'clock in the morning now, and you hadn't talked all day. So maybe before you go to sleep, I like what the Bible says, don't let the sun go down on your wrath. What's that mean? Look, before you go to bed, won't y'all have some intimacy, and you talk and have a communication. But remember, it takes two to communicate. Maybe all you need to do, men, is just ask her a question and then not have to tell her about what happened to you when you were 12. Or when I was in high school, I did this. Honey, let me tell you what it reminds me of. Look, it's so hard. That's just who we are, and we do it. But maybe we just need to shut up and let her talk about whatever it is she likes, even if you hate it. My wife left. Okay, I'm going to talk about her. My wife always likes to talk about stuff, man. She likes to talk about stuff and tells me why she's talking about stuff and why she likes this and why. And it's already done. Look, we're okay. I've already given the money. It's paid for. It's already done. Yeah, but I like this. Okay. And it can be frustrating. And I'm sure that I can frustrate her way more than she's frustrating me. Are y'all with me? My point is tonight, maybe you just need to shut up and let her talk. Maybe your husband comes in and he wants to talk about something so stupid, Hey, I was in the gym today and I did this, or, at work today this happened to me. Just shut up and listen to him. And when I say listen to him, don't be thinking about what time, you got to do something else. I'm talking about being attentive, because I want to tell you this. It won't work if you're faking it. They can't read my mind. Yeah, but it don't work. Y'all, faking it don't work. There's something about this that's spiritual or something. But when you're there, especially when she said, isn't that right? And you're, huh, what? Yeah, honey. Oh, you want me dead? Is that what you is over here? If you're not focused and paying attention, because the dynamic works is where two agree. When you and your wife become one flesh, there's a power that happens that people don't have. Because I'm committed to her because I'm a good guy. She's committed to me because she's a good guy. Hey, we're Christians. We're walking like ducks. We're quacking. That's what we do. We stay committed. But guess what? They ain't got nothing. Matter of fact, I'm talking about something that God wants you to have not only with your wife, but with members of the ecclesia. And guess what? And with Him. With Him. And if you don't have it with Him, I promise you, you ain't going to have it with nobody else. It ain't going to happen. So when you come to church and you're daydreaming, hey, I don't know where we're going to eat today. It ain't going to work. The fact is, He does know what you're thinking. So the Bible's got a lot to say about this, and I'm going to try to get through this real quick. Will you help me tonight, Chris? Proverbs 18:13. These are some basic communication guidelines if we want to accomplish something that's going to bring glory to God. I want my life to bring glory to God. You know? Can I tell you something? I know there's many of you here that you have problems in your marriage. Even though you press on through and y'all forgive one another and y'all go on because you're good people, but I'm telling you that this is something that Yahweh is offering to us. Why don't you take it? Why don't you do it? And let the rest of your life be happy. There's nothing like it. I call it the fruit of holy matrimony. All right. All what I'm fixing to tell you out of the scriptures is tried and it's proven. First one is this. He that answereth a matter before he heareth it it is folly and shame unto him. Hey, you know what? I know what you're going to... Anybody, somebody jump and tell you what you're going to say before they even say it? That they already know. They're psychic. They already know what you're going to say. Go to James 1:19. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. So what are you saying, John? Let me put it like this. Be a ready listener and don't answer until your spouse or your brother and sister in the Lord or Yahweh has finished talking. I catch myself, I was doing it to him tonight. I was talking right over him tonight. I was talking like, hey, I need to practice some of this stuff. He told me, he started telling me something. Oh, I had something to tell you, you know. And so here I was talking over you, man. I was like, and of course he won't shut up. bless you, honey. Bless you. I mean, he's a talker. I took him home one time. He just talked the whole time. But he's talking about good things, aren't you, bro? And I was thinking, man, why don't you just be quiet till they finish? Why don't you just let them say what they're going to say, be slow to speak, and then be slow to wrath? I like this one. Proverbs 15:23. And I'm going to read 28 also. Listen to this. A man hath joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season. How good is it? And go to verse 28. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things. Speak slow. Think before you give your pat answer that we've heard before, they've heard before. You know, just stop and listen, and then speak in such a way that the person you're trying to talk to and have intimacy with, and you should be doing that with every person in this ecclesia. It's required by God, and especially your wife, husband, and especially God. And speak in such a way that they can understand you, and say it in such a way that there's a good chance that they'll accept it. That's why I don't just tell people, you know, man, you're stupid. I can't believe you believe that. I say, look, consider this. Because I want to say it in a way so they would accept it. And if I just am rude and overshod them or whatever, how many of you know they're not going to hear you? Because now you done pushed them to the place on the other side of the wall of all their insecurities, inferiorities, rejections, and all those kind of things. I don't want them on that wall. Come out. Come out. Come out wherever you are. Y'all don't never see the movie, did you? Ephesians 4:15. Give me some Bible verses so you'll know that this is scriptural that I'm speaking about today. Ephesians 4, what did I say? Yeah, 4:15. But speaking the truth in love may grow up into him all things, which is the head, even Christ. Now I want you to jump to verse 25 right quick, because I want to show you something here. So put away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. What's he saying here? Look, people say, well, I tell you what, I'm just supposed to tell them the truth. Well, but you need to say it in a way that it's going to benefit them. I tell people this, if anything you do, if you bring correction to somebody and you do it for any other reason but that you love them and that you want them to be successful in the matter, then you're wrong. I think it's wrong for a parent to correct their child for any other reason but that you love them. If you don't love them, you're disqualified from correction. If you're not wanting the best from them, if you do it just because it's inconvenient to you. So we need to speak the truth, do it in love and consideration. Let me give you one more scripture, Colossians 3:9, since y'all all are writing these down. Lie not one to another, seeing that you have put off the old man with his deeds. All right, let's go to the next point here. One of the things that I think is a horrible, horrible way to destroy relationships, I call it the cold shoulder. Some people call it the silent treatment. Everything that brings creation is spoken out of your mouth. So there's a spiritual power of what you speak. And the Bible says you can speak life or you can speak death. And you say, well, I'm not trying to do that. It doesn't matter. You are either speaking life or you're speaking death. It's just the way it is. And remember, when you speak death to somebody else, you're speaking death on yourself. So a lot of people, what they do is they refuse to speak life. And I think the silent treatment or the cold shoulder is deadly. It's irresponsible, it's immature, and it profits nothing. I'm going to be mad at you. Guess what? I'm just not going to talk to you. Now, there may be with your spouse or in the heat of the moment that you might want to say, hey, we just need to stop a minute. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the silent treatment. Y'all know what I'm talking about? The cold shoulder. You come to church and you're like, hey, brother, how you doing? And they just walk right past you. They ain't going to look at you. They ain't going to deal with it. Because you know what? Because they don't care about the glorify the name of Yahweh. They're not going to wait on the Lord. You understand how I'm trying to pull that in there? All you're going to do is frustrate the situation, especially if you're a talker. Oh, you're going to talk to me right now. What you need to do is this. You need to explain. Say, honey, listen. I'm upset right now. Let's just take a break. I don't want to talk about this. Can we do that? I need to do that. But see, that's communication too. Because I want to tell you, you can either go forward or you can go backwards. And you can go backwards by talking, and you can go backwards by the cold shoulder. Because guess what there's going to be? There's going to be this reaction of shutting down. And that's what you don't want. We don't want to shut down. We want our hearts to be open. Because if it ain't open toward your husband and your wife, you're not going to be open toward God. And I'll tell you, that's why a lot of people come to church and they don't know how to wait upon the Lord. And if you don't know how to wait upon the Lord, you don't get and receive anything from Him. And I want you to have that. I tell you the best thing to do, just don't let yourself get involved in quarreling, in arguments. No, we're not going to do it. No, that's not allowed. I used to tell people this. I said, I'm not going to let anybody come and disturb the peace in this house. In my house. I'm not even allowed to disturb the peace. Now, have I done it before? Yes. Have I been upset before? Yes. Have I lost it before? Yes. I live with 3 females. It wasn't too funny, was it? Well, y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to blame somebody but myself. Let me give you some scripture here. Proverbs 17:14. You know what? I'm going to tell y'all a secret. Y'all want to know a secret? Look at me. Everybody look at me. You ain't going to believe this. This is like a big secret. Do you know that you can disagree without arguing? You can have a disagreement without quarreling. That's deep right there. That's a secret of the mysteries of the ages. Proverbs 17:14. The beginning of strife is as when one letteth out water. Therefore leave off contention before it be meddled with. Romans 13:13, Chris. I love the Bible. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. See, that's what it concerns me about people who like to drink, because what it does, it changes and it pulls down your spiritual guard and allows the sensual, and when I say sensual, I don't mean just sexual, I mean the sensual flesh man to just show its butt. Can I say it that way? Well, I'm just, guess what? I don't have, there's no guard on my mouth. I'll just tell you what I'll do. I'll just tell you this. And pretty soon, guess what happens? It begins to cause you to become that person. A consistent, habitual abuser of alcohol and drugs will change, and it won't be for godliness. Moderation in all things, friends. Find out what chambering is, wantonness. Let me give you one more here, Chris. Ephesians 4:26. I should have just read it a while ago. Be angry and sin not. What does that mean? You can be angry and not quarrel. You can be angry and not lose your intimacy, because you can damage that spirit of holy matrimony. A lot of people that I have met over the years, they come to me, and their marriage, I believe it's a living organism, that thing is, marriage is, and they come in critical condition, and some of them just don't make it because they've damaged that so bad that they can't recover it, and it's self-inflicted because people never grow up, never have the fruit of the Spirit. Some of them say in church, oh, stay right here in church. But guess what? They're quacking and they're waddling, but they ain't ducks. Y'all hear me today? Verse 31, 2. Give me that. Not 31, 2, 31. I'm sorry. 4:31. Chapter 4, verse 31. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking, guess what? That shouldn't be part of us. If you got that kind of junk going on in your life, friends, I'm going to tell you something. You ain't got what I'm preaching. You're not understanding what I'm telling y'all. You haven't received the Spirit of God that I'm projecting and declaring in this house. Well, I'm just that way. I know. That's why Yeshua came to deliver you from. It's time for you to change. James 5:16. Confess your faults one to another, pray for one another that you may be healed. The effectual prayer of a righteous man availeth much. I'm going to tell you what, the number one cause of sickness isn't eating bad and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to tell you, it's what comes out of your mouth that defiles. It's not what goes in your mouth that defiles your body, it's what comes out of it. Well, I know what the doctor, listen, I want to tell you, you need to quit that carnal talk. And you being negative and critical and saying things about other people and all that, and not knowing how to wait. Because all you're doing when you don't wait, what you're doing is you are slandering other people. If you don't have patience to wait on somebody in the sense that we're talking about, it's a slander of them, because what you're saying is this: they're bad. They're not respecting me. My time is valuable. I don't. You're not valuable. You either come. Y'all understand what I mean by that? So you can't have that and then think that you're this. And it says right here that if you want to be healed, you confess your faults one to another. I love this. I think it's one of the most powerful things that we have in two forms. Because when I'm wrong, I would like to admit it And then I like to humble myself and ask for forgiveness. You know what? Because God resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. I will admit I'm wrong when I think I'm right. I'm wrong. I tell you what I'm wrong about. Not to want to give glory to the name of God and to do anything that's going to damage the relationship that is important to me, which is my wife, and with members of my ecclesia. It's important. Some of y'all don't give a crap about what other people think. I'll tell you right now, you don't know. It's important because it's important to God. That person that God has set in this house is important to him. And if it's important to him, I promise you, you better make it important to you. Are y'all hearing me? I don't care what they are, what they look like. And when somebody confesses a mistake to you, you need to forgive them. And let them know they're forgiven. And you can do that based on one thing. You were forgiven. Do I need to tell you the story about the man who got put in prison for owing somebody some money, and they forgave him his debt, and he went out and had the guy that owed him, he owed $10,000. He had the guy that owed him $10 put in prison. Guess what? The guy said that he owed the $10,000. Come here. You don't think God's going to be any different to us? But watch this. Forgiving means this. Are y'all listening to me? I want everybody to look at me real close. When you do that, you need to make absolutely 1,000% sure that it's forgotten and it's never brought up again. Otherwise, you're a liar. Yeah, but you know what that time is? Forgive them. Forget it. Somebody say, well, you just can't forget it. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. That don't mean you don't have a memory or a thought about it, but you know what? It's so put far away that you're never going to bring it up again. Why would you bring it up again? Tell me one reason you would bring it up in. Anybody know the answer to that? Because you want to hurt them. You want to hurt them. You want to get below the belt. There's nothing about loving them when you bring it up. Hey, yeah, but you know what about that time you did? What about that time you did that? Well, I thought you forgave me for that. Well, I did. But I'm bringing it out. And I'm going to cut you, slit your throat with it. Because I'm holding that against you. Oh, man. Guess what? Yahweh will hold your past sin against you. How do I know that? Because the Bible says that who you forgive, he says, if you don't forgive, he don't forgive. Man, I don't want Yahweh bringing nothing out of my past. How about you? Huh? There's nothing in my past that I want him to say, hey, Johnny, especially on that day. Y'all having fun yet? Proverbs 17:9, Ephesians 4:32, Colossians 3:13, same verses. And this is how we need to learn something that I think helps communication. Even when you're angry, learn how to respond softly and kindly. Learn to do it. If you can't control your own spirit, you can't control your own mouth. The Bible says that to become perfect, a perfect man, is you know how to control your mouth. Some people think this goes just for ladies, but it don't. Proverbs 10:19, Chris. In the multitude of words there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise. Man, I have to watch myself because I'm a talker. And it takes restraint from me to just shut up. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I got a lot to talk about, and I think it's important. And the older I get, I find out that I'm just reruns, you know. Hey, did I tell you about the time? Yeah, he told me, Johnny. I was like, I know, yeah. Yeah, well. But what is interesting to me is that it takes discipline to not jump up and all of a sudden start telling everybody everything about you. Or, everything about me. Hey, that's what I did. I did this, I did this, I did this, I did that. Because in a multitude of words, there ain't no lack of sinning. That's what that means. There's plenty of sin, and you're running your mouth about everything. And so we need to learn how to, not. Here's the word. Here's a good word. And this don't apply just for females, okay? Everybody thinks this is for females. I promise you, I've heard it from more men than I have women. I promise that. And this is the word nagging. There's a multitude of words in there. And it just nang. If we can remember and we can control the multitude of our words, then there's going to be a lot of sinning that we ain't going to be able to do. It's easy to sin with a multitude of words. It's easy to start talking about stuff, and pretty soon, the fish wasn't this big, the fish was this big, and then they tell a story two more times, it's this big. And pretty soon we tell these stories, and it's just not true. And if we keep our mouth shut, you can't lie when you ain't talking. Go to chapter 17, verse 9. Let me read that for you. He that covereth the transgression seeketh love, but he that repeateth the matter separateth friends. Why do we feel so good about being in the know? Why do we feel so good about knowing something and then repeating it, telling people about something? Hey, did you hear about so-and-so? I mean, some of it's kind of innocent, but it shows me if I'm doing that, if I got this need to run and tell somebody, hey, did you hear about so-and-so? Then what that tells me is that could be a weakness and a void, a deficit in me that would be bigger and broader, and in other area that would bring forth sin and not be pleasing to God if I have that. Does that make sense what I just said? So what I'm saying is this: if I have the propensity in me to want to tell something that, look, hey, did you hear about this? Hey, did you hear about so-and-so? Hey, did you hear about this? Then I know that if it's negative things about my brother or sister or my wife or whatever, and that talk can be to you talking to yourself about your wife. Look at her. Look at her. Old Gray Mary ain't what she used to be. Look at her. You be watching all those TV shows and commercials with all these girls on there, and you look at that, and you look at your wife, you start talking to yourself, well, look at what she looks like. Well, when you do that, guys, what the Bible says do, take all your clothes off and go get in front of a mirror. That's all I got to say about that. But of course, men, we still think we got it, right? All right. Don't blame or criticize. I know you already know all this stuff. I just want us to do it. I ain't blame my wife for my problems. My wife ain't my problem. Y'all hear me? Guys, if your wife is your problem, then you really got a problem, and it's your problem. Y'all hear what I just said? If your wife is your problem, then you really got problems, and it's your problem. I believe that I have the power from God. That's pretty strong. To dictate the mood of my home. I got the power of God to do it. My wife ain't got a chance with God. You don't think God can do anything with my wife? The reason I know she can is because she wants to serve God. She wants to do what's right. That's easy for God to deal with her. I don't have to deal with her. But I used to think I did. Blame her. I mean, that's what we do. When we were dating her or whatever, before we captured her and conquered her, what we did, we were just lovey-dovey, weren't we? Hey, I love you. Here's some flowers. Don't blame people and don't criticize people. It's a mark of your deep, 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 pathetic self-image when you criticize people. Oh, I didn't think he is. I don't think he don't do this. He don't know how to do that. He don't know how to do that. When the first thing you do is criticize. I was with a man recently, and he was just drooling over a huge house. Oh, look at that money! It just reeks of money. It reeks of money. Now I'm going to tell you, I criticized the people who had that house to him because I told him he was committing. He told me he was a Baptist. I said, you are a coveting Baptist. You have covetousness. You don't know anything about that family. I said, I bet, like a guy told me, he said, can you hear anything? He said, I don't hear nothing. That's right, because they're out working, trying to pay for that house. Doctors are in as much debt as anybody else, sometimes more. It's all relevant. You know what I'm saying? You make $50,000 a year and you got a $200,000 house, or you make $50 million a year and you got a $200 million house. It's all the same. We found out when the crash happened. I don't get on that subject. I'm just saying, this is what I like. I like to encourage people. I want to speak life to people. I want to edify people. It brings life. And you should try it with your family and with your ecclesia. And it is a ministry. Remember y'all I preached on Apostle Barney. Y'all remember that? That Barnabas' name meant son of encouragement. And, I love you. We did the whole thing in that message. But my point was, we could be like Barney. That when people leave your presence, they feel way better than they did. And you can do it with truth. You can do it with a motive. And that my motive is this. I want to bring glory to God's name. I understand bringing glory to God's name now more than I ever have before, because I didn't know what God's name really meant, because I didn't know the gospel. I know it speaks of the gospel. And so I want to bring glory to that. And I want a well done too. I ain't going to lie to you. If somebody, like your spouse or someone else, verbally attacks, criticizes, or blames you, you know what? Men of God, late women of God, you should not respond in the same manner. You should have the power of the Holy Ghost, and you're walking and being filled with the Spirit, that it doesn't provoke you, because you know that they probably don't mean it, that they're probably struggling with something deeper. But if you're going to be insecure, and you're going to be inferior, and you're going to be a weak Christian, or a duck that quacks and waddles but ain't a duck, then guess what? You just going to want to get them back. But people that love God, that love is shed abroad, and you don't have to fight them back, because you know the battle's not yours. That Yahweh will take care of them. I'm almost done. One of the things I've tried to do, and I'm 60 now, I've had a lot of practice at this, is I tried to understand people's opinion. I'm not talking about right and wrong and truth. I understand why American gospel people believe that. I understand that. I get their opinion, so I can approach them from a certain area, a certain way. But when somebody has an opinion of something that's different from mine that would cause a quarrel, then I try to understand that. And I make allowances for them being different from me. Everybody ain't going to do what you think is the way to do it. True? And I had to learn that. It was a hard lesson for me, because, being in my marriage, I was just like, hey, what? I'm the man. Yeah. Well, I learned quick about that. Debbie's not as weak as y'all may think she is. In my relationships, I had to understand that people look at it different. And when they did something different, or chose something different, or looked at it different, I didn't let it make me, my rejection and insecurity and things like that, bow up and then have an attitude about them, when all they were doing is just seeing it different. In every relationship, you're going to see things different. and they're insignificant. You hear me? And so I also had to learn about how to be concerned about the other person's interest. My wife, she don't know this. Well, she's interested in that. I should be interested in it. Are y'all hearing me? Y'all getting quiet on me over here. I ain't preached that long, but look, if you can't wait, I don't mean that to be rude, but I'm trying to make my point. You're interested in it, I should be interested in it. If you care about it, I should care about it. That don't mean I've got to go with you to do it, but I should be interested and care. You know, the old saying, it's not what you say, but how you say it. Just like marriage, in every relationship, love doesn't automatically come. Just because you get married don't mean, okay, well, we're in love now. Sure, Jordy and Linda are probably going to find out pretty soon what marriage is all about, just like we all did. And they're going to understand, like we all did, that love matures in marriage and any other relationship as two people work together to communicate. I believe lack of communication is the number one reason for divorce. And just because you talk a lot to your wife don't mean you're communicating. And ladies, just because you're talking to your husband a lot don't mean you're communicating. So my question is this: when is the last time that we really talked to somebody? Not just talking and telling them everything about you, but when you talk to somebody, it takes two. Baby, it takes two, baby. Part of that's listening. And I think if you're going to talk 10 minutes, you should give the person 10 minutes to listen, so to speak. Don't just, don't think just let it be a time of ministry. So when's the last time that we really focused on that and we really thought about it? And when somebody's talking, and are we really listening? Are we waiting on them? Do we really care about them? When was the last time you really talked to somebody, and when was the last time we really listened to somebody?